That's way better. Well, let's see. It's getting darker, so my light's just not there right now. So, okay. Let's see if this works. Oh shit, it's already fucking up. Okay. Well, let's make this quick before it completely fucks up, huh? Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going on. In the wonderful world of Wonka, surprises on your way. I am live with Restream. Fuck your browser fix. No. There are some fucking takes that I fucking hated today. There are a lot of takes that I hated today. A lot of them. A lot of takes that I hated today, and it really was upsetting me because I'm starting to understand that, bro, motherfuckers is dumb. It like baffles my mind. How are these individuals like? How are they able to get these fucking these fucking shits, bro? Oh my goodness. I find it, it's weird to me. So,
welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith.
Okay, well, I'll just let him
show. Now let's get to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where President Donald Trump has his sights evidently turned towards Hollywood. The president says the American movie industry was dying a very fast death due to incentives provided by other countries to shoot outside the United States. As a result, Trump announced an intent to impose 100% tariffs on the industry for films made outside the country. The president went to Truth Social with the following post, quote, "This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda," end quote. The president continued saying he was authorizing the relevant government agencies, such as the Department of Commerce, to begin the process of imposing a 100% tariff on all films produced abroad, end quote. That's what the president said, okay? And we understand this. Here's what I want everybody to recognize. We can parse words all we want to. But in the end, the president, one could easily surmise this is just his latest element in the revenge tour that he is on. Anybody that has been against him, anybody that has vilified him, anybody that has tried to castigate him along the way, he's coming for you, and he's sparing virtually no one. Now, why would I say this about the movie industry? Are you kidding me? Have you seen Hollywood? Have you looked at how a vast majority of folks in Hollywood have spoken out against them?
The video might be slow, but you can hear the audio.
Think about that.
Audio's correct.
Think about the concerted effort that was put forth to support the likes of Kamala Harris. Think about how that support, how flagrantly it emanated from Hollywood. Not everyone in Hollywood, of course, but certainly enough people where you could basically say the industry itself. Did you see Megyn Kelly go off about George Clooney weeks ago? Did you see her dissect him and pick him apart like a fine-tooth comb when he tried to denigrate her in some way, at least in her eyes? Have you heard the reports of Biden and how Clooney ultimately came out calling for him to step down weeks later, but he was quiet up until that point? We've seen a plethora of people emanating out of Hollywood. And the belief by and large is that it's not just the actors, but it's the studios themselves. And it doesn't escape me. It doesn't fly over my head one bit that this is the kind of thing that Trump would do. Because he's talking about make America great again, make the American film industry great again. And he's making a legitimate argument when you take into account what he's pointing to in terms of businesses being taken elsewhere, because he's going to have an abundance of American citizens that are totally for him in this regard. I'm putting on my glasses so I can make sure that I can read carefully. President Donald Trump proposed on Sunday a 100% tariff on films produced outside the United States. The move has made investors of major streamers and studios nervous, and stocks for companies like Netflix and Paramount slid because of it. Analysts warned the tariff, though not finalized, would lead to fewer and more expensive films. You think Trump doesn't know that? I'm going to continue reading from here. It talks about here, share prices of major studios and streaming companies slid following the news, with Netflix shares down 1.5% midday on Monday, and Paramount shares dipping about 0.7%. Disney and Universal parent company Comcast slumped in pre-market trading Monday before mostly bouncing back to their respective prices at Friday's last week. Trump said in a Sunday social media post he plans to implement taxes on foreign films as a means to prevent the U.S. movie industry, quote, from dying a very fast death. Think about what he's saying. U.S. studios have increasingly turned to shooting projects overseas. Think about what he's pointing to. Shooting projects overseas is a means of taking advantage of tax benefits or finding unique locations for films for television sets. Netflix announced in February plans to invest $1 billion to produce films and series in Mexico over the next 4 years. According to a report from entertainment industry consultancy Allsberg SPI, 36 European countries and 15 Asian countries offered film production incentives in 2024, up from 17 European countries and 7 Asian countries offering tax credits and rebates in 2017. So his argument,
I guess my only question to my real question to everything that he's saying right now is like, wow, okay, you're tariffing Hollywood for making movies outside the United States. But are we ever taking into consideration that maybe depending on the actual movie, that, like, for example, if this was Narcos, you're going to tariff Netflix, or you're going to make it difficult for Netflix to shoot Narcos? Like, are you going to pretend you're in Colombia by filming in West Virginia somewhere? I mean, like, it wouldn't be authentic, I guess. Like, the only issue I see is like, okay, well, if, let's just say, if Stephen King or Ryan Coogler is making a movie, a Black Panther movie, and he wants to do it like in the motherland, in Africa, he wants to shoot scenes there or have the movie there, it feels more authentic. Is that a bad thing now? That's what happens? Is he going to tariff that? Is that what we're looking at? Like, I'm not 100% sold on what Trump is attempting to do or attempting to say. It seems salty to me.
Argument is going to be they're taking their business elsewhere. We've got to compel them to do business right here in the United States. One of the ways to do that is to put these tariffs on content produced outside of the U.S. And as a result, you're going to have people that are going to engage rather than reciprocation. They may do the same thing to the movie industry. He's not blind to that fact. He doesn't seem to care. And if you say, hey, okay, then I'm going to do business here in America, that doesn't mean you're going to get the tax breaks that are available to you at other places, which means that if you're Hollywood, you're going to be producing less content. Studios are going to be greenlighting less projects. As a result, less people are going to be working. As a result, their bottom lines are going to be compromised. And Hollywood, as a result, collectively is going to be compromised because of it. You don't think Trump knows that? Let me veer totally left. The other day, a news report came out. And contrary to the impression that it gave, it wasn't Trump going back on his words to me when I did News Nation last Wednesday night, and I asked him about HBCUs. And he said, you don't need to be concerned at all, Stephen. I love the blacks. I love the black people. Historically
I also
black.
I want to point this out. He did say that. Chris Cuomo also says that. I don't know if I heard Bill O'Reilly say it. When did it become like normalized to say the blacks with the hard S? I never. It was always cringy. In 2025, it's still the cringiest thing I've heard. When I was younger, when I was in high school, college, it was cringy to hear somebody say the blacks. Because that's literally how, like, you know, our ancestors back when they were, you know, doing sit-ins, the civil rights era, white people would refer to them as the blacks on purpose to be insulting. You couldn't say the N-word. Okay, well, I'm just going to call you the blacks or a black. Like, why is it so difficult to say black people? Why is it so difficult to say African Americans? Why is it so difficult to be specific? Like, it's stupid to hear. It's just the fucking microaggressions that I hear, and it's allowed. It's allowed. I mean, like, I guess we're normal. This is normalized.
Colleges and universities, I love them. They love me. They have nothing to worry about them. I saved them, Stephen. I saved them. Remember that? That's what he said. And then a story came out about Howard University and how they were looking forward to about $64 to $65 million and in terms of discretionary funding and limiting that or minimizing that. The Trump administration was proposing them not getting that 64 to 65 million. And everybody was in an uproar. He promised one thing and he did another. When in fact, the real story behind it was that it was supposed to be a one-time payment for the hospital.
Right.
And since the hospital hasn't been completed, that's not something the Trump administration feels the need to provide. Or it has been completed. Since it has been completed, what do you need the money for? That's what he's asking. That's not the same as minimizing funding that was promised to them. So we have to be accurate about that. But my point in saying all of that is this. He still could have given it to them if he wanted to. But according to my sources,
wait, what was
he doesn't like the
reason?
board at Howard University. He doesn't appreciate the way they have treated him,
Again,
according to
the
sources
video's
close to
lagging,
Trump.
but let me
Promised
try
to
to-
them. So we have to be accurate about that. But my point
Go back a little bit.
that's not something the Trump administration feels the need to provide. Or it has been completed. Since it has been completed, what do you need the money for? That's what he's asking. That's not the same as minimizing funding that was promised to them. So we have to be accurate about that. But
confused. Go back a
minimizing that, the Trump administration was proposing them not getting that 64 to 65 million. And everybody was in an uproar. He promised one thing and he did another. When in fact, the real story behind it was that it was supposed to be a one-time payment for their hospital. And since the hospital hasn't been completed, that's not something the Trump administration feels the need to provide. Or it has been completed.
Wait, what?
Since it has been completed, what do you need the money for? That's what he's asking. That's not the same as minimizing funding that was promised to them. So we have to be accurate about that. But my point in saying all of that is this. He still could have given it to them if he wanted to. But according to my sources, he doesn't like the board at Howard University. He doesn't appreciate the way they have treated him, according to sources close to Trump.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is bullshit. If we remember, after the election, Kamala Harris conceded the election. I believe the speech was at Howard University. So you're not going to tell me that that doesn't play a humongous role in why Donald Trump is specifically salty at Howard University for that, and it's being a whole bitch baby by withholding those fucking funds. And if you don't like the board, is a sorry ass excuse for a president to just withhold funds. It doesn't make any sense. why I don't know. This is what happens. Like, we knew that it wasn't just going to stop at Ivy League schools. It was just going to stop at Columbia University or the attempt to, destroy Harvard or what have you. We knew it was going to come to these lower income schools. We knew HBCUs were next on the hit list. We knew this shit. We knew it. It's just bullshit.
And because of that, he doesn't particularly like them. And if he doesn't like them, he's not going to do them any favors. That's how this works. At some point in time, you can lament it all day. I've got people that work for me that lament that kind of stuff. They think the behavior is juvenile, it's excessive, it's uncalled for, it's beneath the presidency of the United States, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't care. And that's exactly why you have to make a decision. Either if you're an elected politician, listen to me, Michael. Either you're an elected politician, listen to me, Sherry.
Who the fuck is Sherry?
You're either whether you're an elected politician
Who the fuck are these people?
or you're somebody that's going to have to do business with him, you're going to have to recognize you're going to have to appease him to some degree. You're going to have to do that.
Wait.
I've been critical of him for years. But he was nice on News Nation. You know why?
Wait.
I said, good evening, Mr. President.
Okay, this is going to be a sad time right here. If I'm reading or listening to this correctly, what I'm getting is that, okay, hey, we have to make a decision. And if we want Donald Trump's cooperation, if you're a politician that wants Trump's cooperation, if you're a school that wants funding, you have to appease him. I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm assuming that means kiss his ass, whisper sweet nothings in his ear, offer him favors of any kind. I mean, the door's open. What does that mean? Just because this is another thing. This is exactly what happened with Bill Maher. Bill Maher went to have dinner. I personally, it's not that I gave a fuck, and I really don't think people actually cared. The people who legitimately looked at the situation actually gave a fuck that Bill Maher went to go see the president of the United States. It was the gaslighting, explaining the trip. Like, honestly, he should have just kept the whole shit to himself. We weren't obligated. He wasn't obligated to tell us how it went. But when you try to convince us or try to tell us and gaslight us and say, yo, this isn't the man that I met at the White House during the dinner, yo, fuck you. It's basically what how I felt. It's like, okay, it's like, why are you trying to convince me right now that because you had a dinner and because you spent 3 or 4 hours, however long you was there at the fucking White House, that this person still isn't liable for sexual assault? It's not the same person. This is not the same person whose first major fucking announcement or speech as his second term as a president blamed the plane crash on DEI without anything. Basically stating that if this would have never happened, if the people in control was a cis, heterosexual, able-bodied white man. He blamed DEI for everything. White people are oppressed when it comes to colleges. Like, oh my God, reparations for white people. We want to kiss his ass. Like, this game that we're playing. Listen, I don't want to vote. I'm not going to vote for anybody who's going to kiss his ass. I'm actually personally tired of it. I'm tired of the Stephen A. Smiths, respectfully. I'm tired of the Chris Cuomo's, respectfully, trying to, tell us how the party should be. We should be acting differently. We should be holding hands. We should be trying to reach across the aisle. I don't think the onus is on the Democrats to do that. We don't have the power anymore. I feel like what you want is something that only the right has to offer. They're the unreasonable ones. The Democrats have been trying to convince Republicans that, hey, this is the right thing to fucking do. They've been trying to do that shit forever. They're just not fucking listening to it. So I don't think it's the onus is on the left, or I'm sorry, the Democrats to do this. But I don't know. It's just sad. It's really sad. Go ahead, continue. You can go.
Good to talk to you. something as simple as that. Remember when he was at the NABJ, National Association for Black Journalists over the summer? And Rachel Scott did a phenomenal job interviewing her. She asked the right questions. She asked the questions that people wanted to know. But what did Trump say? That's just a nasty, nasty question. You didn't even say hello. How are you?
You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you?
See what I'm saying? You don't even say, hello, how are you? It matters.
Wait, time out. If you play the rest of that fucking clip, Donald Trump was a complete asshat the entire fucking interview when he went to that summit. He was an asshole, Stephen A. I don't know if you actually watched the entire fucking interview or the entire fucking time. I'm just going to say it. People aren't going to hate, but Joe Biden would never say some stupid shit like that. He would probably try to answer the question. You're the president of the United States. A legitimate question was asked. You want the black vote. Please explain to us how you're going to do that with the rhetoric that you're actually saying. I don't care about how the question was asked. You're going to be the president of the United States. That's a question that your constituents, the people who might vote for you, need to understand and need to know the answer to. Fuck all the niceties. He gets his ass kissed and his balls scratched at every other interview, every other place he goes, or if it's Joe Rogan, whether it's some random ass college, Hampton, whatever the fuck, not Hampton, but whatever. He gets he's appeased, as Stephen A would say, everywhere else. But when people are actually sitting there asking you questions, it's nasty. You're disgusting. You're whatever. Come on, Stephen A. Come on, bro. Are you?
And that's not to say that there's a reason or justification for doing any of the things that he may have done or will continue to do. It's just knowing the hand that you're dealt and knowing who you're dealing with. And that's what you're going to have to learn about him, if you don't already know. If you want to do business with him, you're going to have to make sure that you're ready to engage in some level of capitulation, even if it's something as simple as being well-mannered. If you are an elected official...
Palatable. I can't remember. If you're a good one, just make sure you're the nice one, right? If you're at this summit and you're black people, you're a black person, and you're gonna ask Donald Trump the right questions, just make sure that you're one of the good ones. You're one of the nice ones, right? Just be very, very nice about it, man. Fuck everything he's ever done. We don't give a fuck about anything that Donald Trump's done, any of the heinous bullshit that Donald Trump has ever done. Just make sure that you're nice. Just make sure that you treat him with the utmost respect, because he respects you as a human being, right? Okay, Stephen A. Smith. You're basically asking people to sell the fuck out. You're basically asking people to, to just bend the fucking knee for some reason. I don't understand it. Why you want people to just bend the knee to fucking Donald Trump? Like, I'm so confused on this take. What are you saying? What are you actually trying to get out of this? Go ahead. It's crazy.
And you have to work on behalf of your constituency, and you're going to have to cross that aisle. It can't be imitating Mitch McConnell when Barack Obama was in office and he said our goal here is to make him a one-term president. That's not going to fly with this guy. He's got the House, he's got the Senate, he's got the White House. He's got the Supreme Court. 6-3 majority. You're going to have to figure out a way to do something to get a semblance of what you want. That is the way that it goes, whether you like it or not. And this thing with Hollywood is the latest example. Somehow, some way, the 100% tariffs that he's proposing, studios in Hollywood are going to have to get connected to the White House, and they're going to have to throw him a bone, figuratively speaking, to do business with him and to get him to back off for some of the things that they're interested in him ignoring. He knows that. It's an effort to squeeze the opposition, which is what he considers Hollywood. Make no mistake about that. In my opinion, that's all this is. It's going to compel Hollywood to want to reach out to him, to ask him for some kind of favor in an effort to show them some grace so they can march forward with their business as usual approach. And in return, they're going to have to give up something. I don't know what that is. I just know it's Trump. If I know it, how the hell don't they know it? Which is why it might have behooved them to lay low, be silent, and just shut the hell up and go to the polls and vote for somebody else, as opposed to being so conspicuous and flagrant in their dissent against him.
So basically, all right, Stephen A. I get it.
See?
I get the cuss of it. So basically, they should have shut the fuck up and, was it dribble? What is it that they told LeBron James? Shut up and dribble, I believe it was. Don't have a fucking opinion. You're a movie star. Do movies. Don't have a political opinion. How dare you, George Clooney, have a fucking political opinion? How dare you? That's... Okay. Alright. I didn't know that. Kissing Trump's ass makes... You know what? If I ever run for office, that's exactly the first thing I'm going to do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to run for office. I'm going to start tomorrow, and I'm going to change my entire platform to be like Stephen A. I'm going to be a centrist, right? I'm going to call myself a centrist, but I'm just going to cater to the right. That's what I'm going to
do to make sure that you don't utter a negative syllable that can compromise them at the box office.
Okay.
Was out there gung-ho against them in a very public way. You didn't think that was going to come back to bite you? I'm just saying. I'm speaking logic. That's all, just simple logic. To me, that's what this is about, in my humble opinion. I don't give a damn what Trump says. That's what this is about.
Yeah, I'm just going to stop it there. What? I guess what... I think the moral of the moral of the story here is it's a sad day. It's a sad world. You know, we know we're fucked. Wait, I don't care how people feel about Stephen A. Smith, but he is a prominent figure when it comes to having black voices in social media. He is prominent. He sacrificed his platform, First Take, one of the most popular sports shows, to talk about social justice issues in 2020 during the Summer of Love, when social injustice, police brutality against people of color was at an all-time high. Just to hear them say things like this, utterly fucking disappointing. You're basically asking people, in order to get the job done, you have to kiss his ass. You have to fondle his nether regions. You have to appease him, bend the knee, call him king, call him daddy, whatever you're trying to tell us, but whatever we need to do, right, to get the job done. Because that's what people voted for. I don't know. It's just really sad to hear individuals like Stephen A. Smith with this big ass platform, $100 million contract, and just say some shit like that. I feel like that's very, very disappointing. But at the end of the day, it's not surprising. Some people forget about the people. They forget about us. They forget about the people who are actually still trying to fight. They forget about the people who actually still have a fucking opinion. And I honestly hope Hollywood doesn't fucking listen. I honestly hope Hollywood fights back. And I know people hate Hollywood, but at this point, I think once again, we gotta actually pay attention to who the real fucking enemy is. And it's not Hollywood. You might hate Hollywood, and I cannot completely understand why you do. But I think there's bigger fish to fucking fry. And like, I'm honestly getting tired of all of it. So yeah, it is what it is. It's sad, but it is what it is. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. That's all I really wanted to talk about. That's I hope you guys have a good night. And yo, I'm using this restreaming thing, so now I'm able to stream on 2 platforms. That's crazy, right? That's ridiculous. But yeah.